Riders ready, watch the gate.
2017 UCI BMX World Championships. Incredible to be back in the United States in Rock Hill, South Carolina. An incredible facility that we've been here over the years for USA BMX Nationals, World Cups, but nothing like we're about to see this entire week with all the BMX racing coming up, with almost 4,000 competitors overall from all over the world coming here to try to win the World Challenge classes all this week. And then we'll sum things up on Friday and Saturday with those elite riders for the World Championship titles and to be crowned King or Queen of BMX. So the Rock Hill facility, an incredible place. You've seen the races here before, but as we said, competitors at this venue from all over the world. It's going to be some great racing. So to give you some behind the scenes of what it's been like here in Rock Hill, we walked around earlier today to give you some of the features and show you the behind the scenes of what it takes to put together such an event like this, and what from the riders' point of view, their aspect of what they see when they get here to Rock Hill before they get to hit the track. So let's give you a little bit of a look of the behind the scenes of what it's like to be a racer here in Rock Hill for the World Championships. All right, we're here, 2017 BMX World Championships in Rock Hill, South Carolina. Almost 4,000 competitors conveying on this little town in South Carolina this weekend for the UCI BMX World Championships. A lot of interesting racing will happen starting Tuesday, but today on Sunday we want to give you behind the scenes on what's going on, what the racers see, and give you a point of view what it's like to be a racer and an attendee of the UCI BMX World Championships. So right behind me, this is the initial check-in staging area for the athletes as they arrive here. Today is practice for each of the countries. It's broken down into country practice as well as age group practices within the countries, but each one of these riders today, they're so excited to be here in Rock Hill, so we're going to give you a walkthrough, check out all the cool features for the UCI BMX World Championships. Okay, once the riders have made it through that initial check-in area, have gotten their credentials, now they've got their bike and their gear and they're headed here into staging. Behind us you can see Team USA. Quite a large amount of riders here, but for the first time for the UCI BMX World Championships in almost 16 years being held again in the United States of America, a lot of support from the home country. The riders get to show up. They have a lot of support from Team USA, USA BMX. Exciting for them to get here. So the practice is split up, a couple of hours, and they break it into groups. Younger riders and older riders get to go with each other, get on that track, because racing starts on Tuesday, so they really need that track time. The track here in Rock Hill is very technical, but as you said, everything starts here with the riders coming into staging, getting ready to hit the track, and with the support, the tents, the staff, it should be a great race for Team USA and all the countries attending these UCI BMX World Championships. One of the cool features here at the BMX World Championships is Shimano. Shimano is the official technical supporter of the event as well as a sponsor of the UCI, and it's great for them to be out here. What they do is provide technical service for all of the riders from all of the countries, no matter what products they run on their bike. They help them get their brakes dialed in, their drivetrain worked on. If their shoes need maintenance, they need new clips, whatever it may be, Shimano definitely stands behind the products. Definitely a great supporter of BMX as well as the UCI. They're out here for each and every rider, and it's great to see that if you're able to not have the support from your country or last minute, need something to do right before you get up to practice, Shimano's been here. Great for the riders. Okay, once the riders have made it through the team area, they've got their bikes dialed in, they've got their gear, now they're ready to hit the track for practice. So right behind me is the staging area. Right now, it's 12 and under practice for Team USA. You see 5, 6, 7, 8-year-olds on this side getting ready to hit the track. They get here, they get hydrated right before they get into the staging area, get in that staging area, and then make their way onto the track here in Rock Hill to practice for the UCI BMX World Championships. So we'll make our way there as well and show you what it's like for the riders from the top of that hill.
Okay, riders, random start. Riders ready, watch the gate.
So as you see here now, the riders have made their way to the top of the hill. They're getting their practice laps in, and you can see the steep downgrade from the beginning of the starting hill for these young amateurs. A lot of practice, a lot of concentration, so let's get out of their way so they can concentrate on the track here in Rock Hill. All All right, so the riders have made their way, you can see here, to the finish line behind me. They made their way around the track. Their practice time's wrapping up, but there's a lot of other things going on here in Rock Hill. We have a great medical facility in case the riders have any accidents on track, as well as a great expo area, a lot of places to eat. So incredible stuff. We'll get more, but that's the end of the track portion. Let's get back to more of the cool stuff that's behind the scenes here in Rock Hill. All right, with over 4,000 competitors, families, industry people all here, where are they going to go to eat? Well, there's like a miniature food mall out here, over 40 food trucks, a lot of healthy options, a lot of not so healthy options, but great places here in the Rock Hill area to come and eat during the event here at the BMX World Championships. So we've made our way around the whole facility here in Rock Hill, giving you behind the scenes footage of everything. Our last stop here on our little behind the scenes tour is here at the expo area with over 60 vendors on display. Everything's here from the who's who of BMX, including starting gates, shops, gear, accessories, complete bikes, anything you would need to get a new bike, to get your bike tuned up, or to be ready for the BMX World Championships. Bring home a souvenir for your friend, or just come out and check out what the newest stuff in BMX is. So that's a little behind the scenes tour here in Rock Hill for the UCI BMX World Championships. Thanks for tuning in today. We have a full week ahead of us on racing. Hope you tune in each and every day for the World Challenge and then for those World Finals. So that gives you a brief look of what the riders are got themselves into here in Rock Hill, and you can see what a great facility it is. Every aspect of what you would need to come to a BMX race and be fully taken care of, as you can see, is here for the riders, the families, everyone that's in attendance. And to get this, it's a lot of planning, a lot of things go into each one of these events, and we were excited to have the mayor of Rock Hill with us, Mr. Doug Eccles, who's going to explain to us how this all came around. And this is his 20th year as mayor of Rock Hill, so he can kind of talk us from the very beginning how this whole thought process came to the event that we're at this weekend. Nice to meet you, sir.
Thank you. Nice to meet you. It's good to have you here with us. Well, we started a number of years ago talking about partnering with a developer on this parcel of land, which is about 1,000 acres. And the developers were interested in creating a healthy lifestyle community that had multi-purposes. And we started talking about what that would mean in relationship to cycling and how we might get into that. And while we're very excited about the quality of our venues for these kinds of events, we also wanted venues that could be usable on a regular basis, open all year round for our citizens. And we've been able to accomplish that. We have programs going on now for BMX training, the velodrome, mountain biking, and on and on and on. So we've been able to, through the years, put all of these cycling venues together to make for a really special cycling center.
So you've had about, I believe it's been 4 World Cups in the past, as well as some domestic nationals and regional type events here at the Rock Hill facility.
Right.
So explain the type of economic impact that you've seen from each of those events, and now leading into this event, much larger,
yeah.
You know, huge impact. So let's discuss that.
Yeah, we take surveys of all of our major sports tourism events. And certainly those surveys have been very positive in relationship to the cycling events which we've been able to host here. But we've also gotten positive results from softball, from swimming, from tennis, and from soccer, and on and on and on. So we have really significantly gotten into the sports tourism business. And the cycling aspects of all of that have just been, cherry on top of the piece of cake, because it's been so rewarding to see the people respond to these facilities and come and visit. We, over the last 10 years in our sports tourism areas, we've had about $150 million economic impact, and those are measured, as I said, by valid surveys, and we anticipate that this World Championship BMX event by itself, over a 10-day period, will have about a $13 million economic impact. Well, that money goes into the community and turns back over, meaning jobs and salaries for people who are working and so forth. So it's a great opportunity for us to not only host a great bicycle event, but to have an economic impact on our community.
So for a lot of people, the sport of BMX is a passion project. They have someone in their family involved, they competed, or they've had someone close to them. But from what I've researched and heard, this all kind of, the whole sports tourism in Rock Hill kind of started with you and the initiation of a softball league or something to bring the tourism to here. But how did everything from that stem into, like as you just said, the aspect of cycling and getting this world-class BMX facility put in?
Right. Well, I'd like to think that it was a part of some grand plan, but I'm not sure I can't say that. We started a number of years ago, 30 years ago really, dealing with a large softball complex, bringing in softball tournaments. And once we saw the impact that could have, the number of people who were coming into our community and enjoying themselves and playing softball and having fun, it began to evolve into some thinking about, well, perhaps what kind of facility can we add next? And we've always had a strong Parks, Recreation, and Tourism department within our city. And if we had not had that quality of department through the years, we wouldn't be here today, really, because we've got a great team, and not only now in PRT, but throughout the city, which pulls together to host these kinds of events, because it really does take our whole city staff and our community to make these kinds of things happen. But we evolved then into a tennis facility and a major soccer facility, which has hosted national championships. We've had world championships at our softball complexes. We've had major tennis events and swimming events and on and on. And we have planned for the future an indoor facility, about 125,000 square feet, where we'll have volleyball, basketball, and other kinds of indoor activities in that facility as well. So we have evolved to a sports tourism destination, and because of the economics and because of what it means to our general citizenry on a regular basis, our community has embraced it.
Where would you rate this event in all of that sports tourism, of all the events that you've put on to date?
Sure. Well, this is certainly the largest and the most logistically challenging, but that's okay. And we've also done our research in regards to international events in South Carolina, and we don't think there's ever been a world championship or an international event this large held in South Carolina. So that is, I think, a feather in the cap for our community. And this event is big enough that it embraces our whole region, which includes Charlotte, North Carolina, and their international airport there, and the travel that people will make from this destination, into other parts of our region.
Well, for myself, as a BMX fan and a BMX diehard, I want to thank you so much for all the effort that the city of Rock Hill and yourself have put in towards this event, as well as just having this world-class facility here in the United States of America. As you know, we have an Olympic champion in the USA, but this facility I know is also open to each country. Riders come here all the time and train for the event, but again, it's just a great facility to have and call it in here in Rock Hill, South Carolina.
Yeah, well, thank you. We're excited about the quality of this facility and the interest level. And our hope would be, quite frankly, that with Winthrop University, a major university located right here in Rock Hill, and with the quality of this facility, that we would have students who perhaps wanted to come to the university and be that close to a world-class training facility. And our hope would be that that one day we'll have an Olympian coming from Rock Hill, South Carolina in BMX.
Well, with the track that they have to train on, that very well could happen. So thank you so much, sir.
Thank you.
Appreciate
Peter.
your time today. And we'll get to some more action on the track, and we'll have back with a few more interviews here in just a few moments. Okay, welcome back. So now we have with us the city manager of Rock Hill. It's going to be David Vihan. David, there's a lot of logistics that go into this event. Now we heard everything, how the event itself happened, but explain to us looking at it, never putting on such an event before, how does everything come together? Because so far everything's been super smooth here and looks like to be working right on point.
Well, a lot of times it looks really smooth out front, and that's our goal. Our goal is we're going to have challenges to have them in the back where we can take care of those. And we've been pretty successful at that so far. Our staff does a tremendous job. We've hosted national tournaments here many times before. It's our first crack at a world tournament, and so we're especially excited about it.
Yeah, for me, I've been here, as I said, for all the World Cups, for the USA domestic race, the USA BMX domestic races before, and this on such a larger scale actually seems to be working a little bit better. Not that it wasn't working well in the past, but just coming in, didn't actually expect it for the facility in the area that it is to be run so smooth. How much timing and planning goes into such an event like this?
Well, when our guys came to us 3 years ago and began talking about this, the first thing that we decided we needed to do was go to Zolder, and so that was really helpful. And then we had another group that went to Medellin back in May. Both of those are incredibly helpful to go and see what's working in some places, some things we think we can do differently. Having the track here and knowing our layout and how we could really meet and develop around what we had here already and what we can build on top of was really helpful as well.
So, you know, a lot of people will come and see the event. When it's over, they're like, oh, it was great, but for you, there's still a lot of, you know, taking everything apart. How much will it actually take to get everything back to normal here in the Rock Hill area?
Well, our guys started about 2 weeks ago, really getting things set up, and so just with all the tents and the trailers and all those things. But really, by the time they'll start first of next week, and by the time we get to the end of next week, I think that by the time we get to next weekend, we'll be back to a regular schedule here, which is pretty incredible.
Yeah.
Our staff does a tremendous job.
So for you, what's your takeaway so far? What's been the nicest thing? You know, like I said, you've put all the planning and you've seen everything, but now you can actually see it come to fruition. What's the exciting part for you in the beginning stages of this event?
Well, the great thing is just seeing how well people have responded. The international guests that we have here, we take that responsibility very seriously. We had a great event last night. Had some great videos sent to me, particularly of the Colombia folks that were having a great time and doing cheers and chants and those sort of things, and that's really what it's all about for us.
Well, as I said, we're really excited, and you know, it's always about watching the riders on track, but to get here to see the way this facility's run like a well-trained athlete on the track, the whole staff here has been nothing but the same off the track. So thank you so much, and we're really excited to get to the meats and potatoes of things, the racing, once it starts on Tuesday.
We're glad to have you here.
All right, so now let's get on track. We're going to have a GoPro lap. We're going to have Niels Binsik, he's going to be behind Nick Kidman. They're going to take a lap here around the Rock Hill track and show you what it's like from that rider's perspective as they hit the track here in Rock Hill. We're here with the BMX coordinator, Kevin McCush from the UCI. Kevin, thanks so much for joining us today. So the World Championship's a big event. Just break it down for us a little bit on how many countries are here and how many riders are participating in Rock Hill.
Well, Pete, this is actually the biggest BMX World Championships in history. We have 48 countries present between Challenge, Championships, and Masters. Just a little over 3,700 entries altogether.
Wow, that's pretty incredible. And the Rock Hill facility, as we know, has been a staple in the UCI World Cup Series as well as the domestic USA BMX Series. So everything looks great. How difficult is it for you to kind of coordinate such an event like the World Championships and compared to a regular traditional World Cup?
At a World Cup, we normally deal with between 200 and 250 riders, give or take, and not quite as many countries, usually in the range of 20 to 30 countries at a World Cup. The other difference really is at the World Cup level, most of the teams are run by professional staff. So they know what to do, they know where to show up, they know how to do all of these things. So the World Cups are really a breeze by comparison. The BMX World Championships, on the other hand, well, it does include a professional element, the so-called championships categories, the juniors and the elites, and we do have those same staff in their part of the event, which is at the end of the schedule. We also have the UCI BMX World Challenge, which is really the family and participation level of the sport. So the challenge teams are quite often run by enthusiasts, but essentially volunteers, not all of whom have been to the World Championships before. So as a result, it's a slightly different approach, let's say. There's a bit more coddling, a little bit more helping to point them in the right direction than there usually is with the pro teams. The other aspect, which is a big difference, I suppose you could say, is just the size of the event. With 3,700 riders alone, you know, not to mention another 1,000 or so team staff, plus spectators, moms and dads, parents. You know, the footprint of the event is just massive compared to a World Cup. So this creates logistical challenges in and of itself.
So we would, of course, love to say this is the biggest World Championships in history, as you did, because of the popularity of BMX, because we have an Olympic champion from the United States of America. But overall, I believe BMX has an uptick right now in the overall. Would you say that on the world schedule?
Yeah, I would say. Every year we notice that a few more countries are joining, so every year we do the World Championships. The general trend is an increasing number of countries, an increasing number of riders. The challenge size of the event really depends on where it is. In America, BMX is huge, so we would normally expect, you know, a lot of entries. The same with Europe, but it's growing strongly in other parts of the world as well. We were in Colombia last year in Medellin. You know, we blew by the previous record for South America the last time it was there, in 2006 in Sao Paulo, Brazil. If I remember, around 1,500 entries. In Medellin, we had 2,300. So as a general trend, yes, the sport is growing strong.
So we should expect to see some great racing, as we have on each of those World Cup stops. And now with the challenge racing, what do you expect to see once we get into competition starting on Tuesday?
Well, the best challenge racing on earth, of course. It'll be fast, it'll be furious. This is a really wide open racing track, a little something for everybody. Yeah, I'm expecting some really good racing and some great competition.
And then when we move over to the elite classes, I think it's going to be interesting to see what happens, because we've seen Mara Stromberg win a few races this year, but realistically, Joris Daudet, Connor Fields, Sylvain Andre have really had a stronghold on the World Cups as well as their domestic racing. And on the women's side, Mariana Pajon's always a threat. You have Laura Smulders, and then Caroline Buchanan's making her comeback to BMX. So we're going to see some great racing here. So not to jump ahead, but next year we have a new venue for the World Championships. Can you just talk about that a little bit?
Yeah, sure. For the first time, we're going to the city of Baku in the country of Azerbaijan. Baku is a really nice city, really modern, very safe, really good food actually, very friendly people. We've just finished rebuilding the track, which was first used for the 2015 European Games, and the track is going to be awesome. We just finished doing some test riding there. It's going to be really, really good. So we really hope that people will be a little bit adventurous and decide to come out to this new venue.
Well, we're excited about that, but again, we're super excited about all of the racing this weekend here in Rock Hill. Kevin, thanks so much for joining us, as well as making everything here step up over the last few years, as we'd all like to say.
Yeah, it's my job and my pleasure. Thanks, Pete.
Thanks, Kevin. And what's going to be really exciting for you, for the first time in the World Championships history that I know of, every single race is going to be webcast to you. Starting on Tuesday, we're going to have all of the challenge races being streamed live, every one of those qualifier races. And then come main event time, it's going to be myself and Brooke Crane commentating on those races, giving us the perspective on those riders as they try to win the World Challenge here in Rock Hill, South Carolina. And that all leads up to the big event that's going to be on Saturday. That's going to be on live TV worldwide, so you're going to be able to see that in your home country. But we're going to have all of those challenge races to you here from Rock Hill on BMX Live TV. So I'm Pete Deluski. Thanks so much for tuning in and joining us here in Rock Hill. As we said, a week full of BMX racing for the World Championships. Thanks so much for tuning in, and catch us all week starting Tuesday here on BMX Live TV.
Riders ready, watch the gate.